my dog, chooses to dig at the carpet at the most inopportune times. Once the realization. Hello, my friends. This is Aviva Tamar, and this is a tarot card reading. So today I'm doing a pick a card reading for y'all and for moi, of course, as usual. This tarot card reading is going to be called Checking the Map, checking the divine map, checking the soul map, figuring out where we are on our journey. We're going to answer a few questions today. Where am I at? Where am I headed? How do I get there? What do I need on my journey? Okay, so that's the goal. All right. Before we get into anything, though, I got to do my spiel. I keep forgetting to do it, and I need to actually do it. Okay. So here's my spiel. Please remember that I am just an interpreter of symbolism. I am not all-knowing. I don't know your individual circumstances. So please take everything I say with a grain of salt. Don't try to make square pegs fit into round holes. And remember my rule: if it vibes, it vibes. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And we're just going to move on, right? Yeah, and remember also that if this does vibe for you and you like my vibe, I would love it if you would subscribe. Drop a like, drop a comment. I love to know that you've been watching. Do whatever you want, honestly. I'm just glad you decided to join me today. And beyond that, let's get into this reading. We're going to move right into the card selection. Okie dokie, my friends. We have here with the Budweiser cap, pile 1. With the Heineken cap, we have pile 2. And with the IBC Black Cherry Soda cap, we have 3. So go ahead and take a deep breath, pause the video, make your choice, and the timestamps will be down below. All right, hello, group 1. Those of you who chose this lovely red Budweiser cap, at least I think it's Budweiser. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm almost positive. All right, let's get into this reading for you, shall we? Let's start turning over these cards. All right. So the first card I have for you answering the question, where am I right now? What is my current situation? I have flying. Look at that. That is a lovely card. It is going to be very difficult for me. There we go. So that is your card, flying. Gorgeous. All right. So lovely. Oh, and it's flying over a labyrinth. And it's got like butterfly wings, and there's a hummingbird, and there's a star and bubbles. There's all sorts of things. Okay. It's very visual. Very pretty. It's a very pretty card. Okay. So this is where you are right now. Let's read about it. So this is card number 20. Right after the Dragon's Lair. You have the power to see things from a higher perspective. All right, I'm just going to hold it up so you can look at that instead of my face. Maybe. Okay. If you were a bird flying high in the air, what would you see? When you soar above life's challenges and opportunities, a new perspective becomes available. Today, you have invisible wings that allow you to swiftly bring your circumstances into alignment with your highest purpose. This is a sign that your waiting is over, that all your hard work has paid off, and the things you hoped for are no longer beyond your scope. You have the ability to reach for the stars and find one with your name on it. Spread your wings and soar. The angels are waiting for you. So right now, you're in a really positive place. Right now, pile 1, you are in a good place. You have a good perspective on things. You're feeling good. Yay. Overall, a positive space to be. I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay. The next card you have here. How are you navigating this current space? How do you navigate this space of having this higher perspective? perspective. So what I have for you here is justice. Okay. So right now, what you're doing, what you need to be doing is focusing on the balance, balancing your heart and your mind. So that's balancing that intuitive sense and those emotions with your intellect and your reason and your ability to observe and make solid observations about the world around you. So you're definitely balancing things out. You're making sure that things are fair. That's good. I like this. I like this. The combination of flying and justice, I think, is a really positive one overall, because not only do you have a higher perspective, you're using that higher perspective to be fair and to be reasonable, right? That's really good. Okay. So the path toward your highest good is the Nine of Wands. Okay. Now, the Nine of Wands is a card that usually shows us on the defensive. Yes. But it's a card of preparation. So the path toward your highest good is, while you are in a positive place right now, to prep for possible attacks, prep for those who might be jealous and who might try to come at you, prep for, I'm just like here in prep for battle. Use this peaceful time to be ready for anything. Okay. Use this time of peace to prep, because the path toward your highest good is one in which you are going to be on the defensive, possibly. The tools you will need on this journey of yours, pile one, are from my fairy deck. Unity. Do the right thing for the right reason. Compare traditional versus new approaches to see which works for you. A spiritually minded community. So, step one in prepping for the not so good times that could be ahead is building your community. All right. That could be coming together with family or friends, colleagues, teachers, students, kind of thing. It's just any way that you can build a community around not necessarily like what we would think of as like law and order and justice, more like build a community around what is spiritual to you. Build a community around what is spiritual to you. Now, this doesn't necessarily have to be like praying to Jesus or any other named deity. Honestly, this could be a meditation group. It could be a yoga group. It could be a knitting group. Okay. It's something that you guys as a community come together and share that you're passionate about. Okay. That allows you to open up and have conversation and get to know one another. All right. So that's unity. So step one on your journey is you're building up a foundation. You're getting ready for possible future difficulties. So build that community. You also have the 10 of Autumn. I don't look at these beforehand. So this is funny. Take steps to ensure the financial security of your children or other loved ones. Making wise investments or planning for retirement, honoring family traditions. So, my friend, not only are you building a community, you also need to make sure you're financially secure and ready for anything financially. You need to make sure you're laying a solid foundation for your family here. Huge message is in the future. You may be coming on difficult times. So right now, use this time to prep and invest and make sure that you have a solid foundation in case anything happens. And then you have the Lovers. True love that is long lasting. Choices made from the heart. A return to good health. So where you are right now, you're in a really good place. You're feeling very abundant. You're really fair. You're very justice-minded. You're very focused on having that higher perspective and using it to help others. That's really cool. That's great. I love that. Just be aware that the future isn't necessarily going to be exactly the way things are right now. So you should use this time to prep for possibly being on the defensive in the future. Okay, so next, I have for you another tool that you may need on your journey, and that is Rose Crack Open from the, this is not the Hedge Witch's Botanical Oracle. This is the Herbiary. Hold on. This is the Illustrated Herbiary by Maya Toll. She's pretty awesome. She has an animal deck / book, which is pretty cool, which I want one day when I have money again. Okay. A Rose Crack Open 56. Rose. As you can see, you have the full page illustration and a whole little thing, and then there's another page. Okay, I'm going to read you the first thing, the little blurb, and then I'm going to read you the reflection, which is sort of a meditation that you can do, okay? I love this book because it gives you an actual activity. I love decks that give you an activity that you can do. Oh, they're so valuable. All right, so Rose, crack open. Yes, that Rose sighs as she contemplates Rainer Maria Rilke's take on relationships. Rose adores poetry, but despite popular belief, she simply can't countenance mushy love. Rose knows that to experience love in full, you need to be a strong vessel while at the same time cracking open. A contradiction? No more a contradiction than flowers with thorns. Rose reminds you to embrace dualities and say both and instead of either or. And this is the quote that she's talking about from Rainer Maria Rilke. Once the realization is accepted that even between the closest human beings, infinite distances exist, a wonderful living side by side can grow if they succeed in loving the distance between them, which makes it possible for each to see the other whole against the sky. So now the reflection. See yourself whole. Often we're much better at loving others than we are at loving ourselves. The reason for this, according to Rose, we're too close to ourselves and so are constantly examining our own minutiae. How to break the habit? Look at the big picture. Ask yourself these questions. What kind of friend are you? How do you care for, nurture, or protect the people you love? How do you care for, nurture, or protect yourself? What are you exceptionally good at? If your soul had a color, what color would it be? When we can't see ourselves whole, we pick and pull at our tiny imperfections, turning them into gaping wounds and fatal flaws. Zoom back. See yourself whole against the sky. You know, this makes me think repeatedly of this card, right? Of this flying card where you can, like, it's whole against the sky. But I think it's also talking of stepping back and gaining perspective, which you are perfectly capable of doing right now. And using that perspective to appreciate yourself, but also stepping back and gaining perspective on people who are close to you, right? Because there is this distance between you guys, between people, right? Everybody is different. And so we should look upon those differences as ways that we can see each other as whole and separate human beings and appreciate each other's beauty that way. Okay, so that's the message I'm getting here, is that you should use this time of abundance to gain perspective and to lay positive foundations, okay? Because things won't always be as beautiful as they are now. Things won't always be as balanced and good as they are now. So you should use this time to just plan ahead, get ready, lay solid foundations, and make sure that you can withstand anything with your family unit. Okay, your very last card, pile 1, is from my Sacred Geometry Activations Oracle deck, and you have the root chakra. The frequency of the root chakra, the red flower of life, stimulates passion and supports our sense of security in this physical plane, both in our bodies as well as the physical world. So, root chakra. Pay attention to the physical world. Do meditations on the root chakra. Okay? If you want to like take a screenshot of that right there, meditate on that image. All right? There's any number of guided meditations on each chakra. There's music out there. All you got to do is type in root chakra meditation on the YouTubes and you will find all sorts of things. So your homework, pile 1, okay? Use this positive space you're in right now to build foundations in your community and with your family. Try to find some common ground, all right? And appreciate differences that you have with others, okay? Don't look at differences as being negative. Look at differences as a way for you to see another person as a separate and whole and beautiful human being. And be aware that your differences, the things that make you different from other people, make you a separate and whole and beautiful human being. And last but not least, make sure that you are meditating on that root chakra and laying those foundations. Foundations, foundations, foundations. That is your number one message. Foundations, foundations, foundations. Lay foundations. That's what I've got for you, okay? You are perfectly fine where you're at right now. Just lay a foundation. Make sure you are secure where you're at. And that is your reading for today. My friend, thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate you taking the time to watch me. Please remember to drop a like, a comment, subscribe, ring the little bell, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye. Hello, hello, my group number 2 who chose this lovely Heineken cap. All right, let's just jump right into this reading, shall we? So the first card I have for you that answers the question, where am I right now, is Balancing Act. And this is from my Enchanted Map Oracle deck. Of course, you cannot see that very well. Maybe. There we go. Okay, so Balancing Act. You see she has this ship on top of like a bubble on top of a string. But she's chilling. Like, she doesn't look too stressed about it. Okay, so what this card represents is a time where you are multitasking, where you are balancing all the aspects of your life. So you are in a place of balancing, of possibly being surrounded by chaos, but staying calm and peaceful within that chaos, okay? So that's the first one. And that's where you are right now, okay? Navigating this space involves judgment. Now, judgment is a rebirth, okay? Judgment is a new beginning after a seriously devastating ending, okay? Judgment is like, I think of Revelations, you know, that book in the Bible that talks about the end of the world. It's the end of Revelations when everybody's coming back to life. Well, you know, some people are coming back to life and being like, whoa, look at this whole new, amazing, beautiful person I am because I am so divine. But this is like that on a smaller scale, on like an individual scale. You are having this like spiritual rebirth. This old you is dying. So what I have to say here is navigating the space you're currently in is going to involve spiritual growth. It's going to involve you needing to let go of some things so that you can maintain your balance. Okay? There's going to be a rebirth, right? You're going to be renewed through this balancing act that you're dealing with. It's just going to require that you let go of some things from your past in order to maintain the balance, okay? So that's currently where you are right now. Now we're getting on to the path to your highest good, okay? The path to your highest good is the Chariot. Now, the Chariot is a card of overcoming obstacles with creative thinking, right? Using trial and error and taking some risks because, you know, things are things are not what they seem. Things are not going as expected. The image here in this card is Alice at the croquet game, right? And if you've read Alice in Wonderland or seen Alice in Wonderland, you know that the way that the Red Queen or the Queen of Hearts does croquet is kind of wonky and weird. And so Alice had a learning curve, right? You're in that space of the learning curve, right? But she doesn't give up. She knows that she's going to figure out how to play this croquet game, right? And so she makes it work. She does a little weird, a little wonky, a little different from everybody else, but she gets done, right? So this is you right now. This is the path toward your highest good, right? Is thinking creatively, overcome obstacles by taking risks and doing things differently than you normally would and differently from other people, okay? The tools you will need on this journey of trial and error and taking risks and trying to overcome obstacles, okay? Justice we have here. Take the time to review the details carefully. You will win in the end. Fair and objective decisions. So while you are trying to overcome these obstacles with creative thinking, you need to make sure you're paying attention to the little things, the little details, because they will matter and they will help you to be successful. The Seven of Autumn. Have patience and don't worry. Take time to rest and plan your next steps. A prudent investment of time or money. So, okay, pay attention to the details. Make investments with your time and your money to prepare for the future. Okay. And Five of Autumn. Reach out to others for assistance. Poor timing for a career change. Feeling challenged by money issues. Okay. So don't change your day job. Don't change your day job. That's the first thing. Pay attention to the details. Don't stop what you're doing, but there is something that is going to need to be let go of. And it's possibly a way of thinking, especially since you have here a need to invest in finances and maybe a need to reach out for help money-wise. I think that you're going to need to be open to receiving some charity, some assistance from others financially. That may be part of you overcoming obstacles differently. Is maybe normally you wouldn't ask for help, and right now is a time, or in the near future is a time when you're going to need to ask for help. So the tools that you need on your journey: patience, attention to detail, and a willingness to receive. Okay. We also have here perseverance is another thing you're going to need. And this is from the Illustrated Herbiary by Maya Toll. You're going to need some perseverance, some dandelion. Okay. Dandelion is a plant that adapts, right? It's a plant that overcomes obstacles creatively, because dandelions will grow tall where they have the space, but in lawns that are mowed on a regular basis, they'll grow really short and close to the ground so they don't get chopped down. And that's one of the ways in which dandelions are so prolific. So adaptability, perseverance, keep going no matter what. That's going to be a big message here. But let me read to you from the book, the companion book 48. Dandelion is bold, bright, and sunny. She pushes through cracks in cement and worms her way into the mortar of stone walls. Cheerfully, Dandelion's medicine is perseverance. But not the perseverance of the martyr. Instead, Dandelion is the eternal optimist. Like the fool in the tarot deck, she's always happy to set off on a new adventure in hope of learning more and digging deeper. She's not an airy optimist, though, with no grounding in reality. Her roots are strong. She's the shaman and the Buddha, and her message is this: happiness is an inner landscape that has little to do with where you're planted. When you're ready to make your own joy, whatever life throws at you, call on Dandelion. Okay, all right. Learning to adapt is the reflection. Now, this book I love. Okay, if you're looking for an oracle deck, I recommend this because the book is the main part. The cards come in the back. You have to like split them apart and all that. And they have, the little blurb, and they have like a little ritual and a reflection. Okay, I'm going to read to you the ritual here. Most plants need very specific climates to thrive, but dandelion adapts to a wide range of environments, which means that no matter where you are and no matter which season you're in, you're likely to find dandelion hanging about. If you're feeling the pull of dandelion medicine, head out for a walk and see if you can spot this golden weed in the wild. Urban or rural, it doesn't matter. Don't you feel like walking? Call on dandelion's cheerful perseverance to get yourself moving. On your walk, see if you can find dandelion's sunny face. If you want, smile back at her. You might find yourself suddenly a tiny bit happier. Notice where she's growing and what she has to overcome to thrive there. Is she standing tall or hugging the ground? Is she in sun or shade? Does she grow through soil or rock or concrete? What can you learn from your observations? Finally, notice whether you come home from your visit with dandelion feeling a bit more able to handle the ups and downs of modern life. So, though you may face some difficulties in the near future, which is indicated by this balancing act, you're in a place where you're surrounded by chaos and you're feeling like you're balancing a lot of things right now to make things work. You're thinking creatively and having to overcome obstacles. You're having to create a new version of yourself, essentially, just to get through things. And that's okay. Everybody goes through that where they're kind of reinventing themselves. This is a good thing. This is a good process. Persevere. Keep going. Try to remain optimistic. Remember what the fairies told you. Pay attention to the details. Invest in the future. And reach out for help if you need it. Don't be afraid to reach out for help. Okay? And again, go for that walk. Find the dandelion. Notice the ways in which dandelion adapts to her surroundings and use that as motivation and inspiration for yourself. How can you change and adapt to your surroundings? How can you thrive where you've been planted? Okay, so the last cards I have for you are from my Sacred Geometry Activations Oracle deck, and I have the third eye chakra, which that's pretty straightforward. That's something that you should be meditating on in the near, now and in the near future, okay? In order to best guide you forward, I imagine your intuitive sense is going to be really important when you're trying to move forward and overcome your obstacles. You're going to need to use that intuitive sense. So the frequency of the third eye chakra, the indigo flower of life, supports our intuition and our inner knowing, our imagination and our psychic powers. I'm telling you, your imagination is going to be a big factor in helping you overcome obstacles and maintain this balance here. Okay. Find meditations on the third eye chakra. Go on the YouTubes, find music or meditations, binaural beats or whatever. Find something that helps you focus on this particular space. If you're really sensory heavy, what helps me personally is just focusing my attention and trying to make this part of my face tingle. I know that sounds really weird, but imagine sparks of electricity coming out of your forehead right about nya. Okay, not here or here so much, but right about here. And points if you get that reference down in the comments. And so, just focus your energy right there. Imagine something happening there. It can be sparks of electricity or a purple ball or whatever you want. Okay, whatever focuses your attention. And then the other thing you have here is alchemy. The frequency of alchemy activates our magical ability and remembrance of the magic that we all hold inside. Each one of us has the potential to access the ancient knowledge that allowed the true alchemist to perform the miracles of transmutation. Okay, alchemy is a process of equivalent exchange. You're giving something to receive something. And I think that this has a lot to do with this judgment card here. Okay, so you're going to need to give something up in order to gain this new life. What is that saying? I've heard it so many times. Your new life is going to cost you your old one. Okay, it's okay. Don't panic. These are good things. You're going to need to use your intuitive sense to guide you because you may be moving into uncharted territory. You may be surrounded by chaos and feel like, why, oh, why do I have to deal with this crap? Okay, I understand. It's okay. Take that negative experience, adapt to it, and transform it into something that you can benefit from. All right, this is not a situation that you need to walk away from. This is a situation that you need to make work for you. And you just need to use your imagination, pay attention to the details, and ask for help if you need it. Okay. And that is everything I have for you today. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to leave a comment or a like, ring the bell, all the things down below, and I will see you in the next one. Alrighty, hello, group number 3. Welcome to your reading. Let's get into it. All right. So the first 2 cards I have for you are from my Enchanted Map Oracle deck, and these are going to show us where you're at right now, just marking off the map. So we have the Field of Dreams as the first one. That's really good. We love the Field of Dreams. There's a bunch of fairies on some eggs. There's a lot of potential here in the Field of Dreams, a lot of good things. We also have the Magical Map Shifter, but he came out in reverse. So we're going to open up this book right now, and we're going to take a look at them, okay? So the Field of Dreams is number 21. The first little biddle is a little... The first little biddle is a little quote. Field of Dreams, your thoughts, feelings, and beliefs are always engaging the vast field of pure potential. What did I say? Potential. This is the perfect time to harness the fields of vast potential not yet realized in your life. Great abundance is yours if you are willing to do the work alongside the Gentle Gardener, which is a card that comes right before this. Be clear about your thoughts, feelings, and beliefs. Concentrate on your best life regardless of the temporary outer conditions imposed upon you by the greater world, which has its own story to tell. You have a basket full of seeds that are quite powerful, for your talents are divinely inspired and will indeed lead to a great harvest to be shared with others. You will reap what you have sown. Dream big, dream beautiful, take action, and tend to the garden of your life, and experience the extraordinary. So there's that. And then we have the Magical Map Shifter, who is right at the very end. And I have never read his reversed thing before, so I will read that to you now. Sorry for the random earthquake you're experiencing. Okay, Magical Map Shifter. Reversed, the Magical Map Shifter card may bring you the opposite of what you seek. Perhaps you're in denial about your situation and refuse to see the truth. Or maybe you've been traveling down a path that has constantly led you to a field of poppies, where you fall asleep and dream of desires that never find their form. To have the life you really want, you must match its vibrational energy and resonate with it. Sometimes our greatest hurts and disappointments are what awaken us to our need to shift to a higher frequency. If your heart aches because someone is breaking it, this discomfort will lead you to a more authentic life. Don't linger in the pain or blame the Magical Map Shifter for alerting you to the illusion you clung to. Know that treasure lies elsewhere and can be recovered once you've healed the wound that is reflected in those who come to you as catalysts for growth. As you experience yourself transforming into the highest version of yourself, you'll come to understand that you're always fortunate when you meet up with the Magical Map Shifter. So these cards together are giving me a message that you have a whole lot of potential that you are not utilizing. So number 1, there is a belief system that you don't think that you have potential. You are tricking yourself into thinking that you don't have any talents. What? No. No. Oh my friend. Oh no, everyone has talents and abilities, God-given gifts. Oh my, let's see what we can do about this. Let's see how we can move out of this space, because where you currently are, it has a lot of potential that you're just not using. Okay, so navigating the current space, you have the Knight of not the knight, the nine of wands, which we also got in the last reading. So you are on the defensive, okay? You are currently just receiving, either you are currently receiving attacks or you feel like you're on the receiving end of attacks. You feel the need to be on defensive mode, right? So you are currently navigating your space of potential by being in a defensive mindset. Here's the problem. When you are in defense mode, when you are operating from that fear, that fight or flight space, your brain does not what's the word? Operate. Your brain does not operate at its highest level, okay? A bunch of functions just shut off in your body when you are having a lot of anxiety, and that is not necessarily like traumatic experiences. It's like basic stress can shut down certain mental and physical faculties and can make you sick physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. So operating from a place of defensiveness and fear is going to put you in this place where you are not operating from your highest potential because you cannot see it because you're in like brain fog right now. Okay? You are operating from a place of fear. That is not okay. We need to get you out of this space. Okay. The path toward your highest good involves the Six of Wands and the Knight of Swords. Okay, I want to talk about the Six of Wands first. Okay, the Six of Wands is a community, a family, a group of people who are on your side, fighting for and with you. It is victory after battle. It's teamwork. It's the greatest result of teamwork as well. So, in order to move forward, you're going to need to be part of a team. You're going to need to join a group. The Knight of Swords indicates that it may have something to do with intellect or writing words. If you've been interested in writing, in poetry, in writing short stories, or in writing music, anything like that, definitely pursue that. You have a lot of talent that is not being utilized and has something to do with either writing, words, or intellectual studies. So learning, science, politics, just all of those things that are very word heavy, very facts heavy. These are the things you need to do. So you need to get involved in an organization or a group that will help you nurture this talent, this ability for words or with your intellect. Start with things that you're really interested in. If you don't feel like you have any real talents, if you say, oh, I'm not good at anything, that's fine. Everybody starts there. Everybody starts in a place where they're not good at anything, right? We're all born with no abilities whatsoever. So you have the possibility, you have the potential to become really great and truly victorious, okay? And with the Knight of Swords, this can move very, very quickly if you're willing to just put in the effort, okay? So with this Knight of Swords, I do want you to think of things that you are very interested in doing that have to do with either learning, sharing information, science, math, technology, reading, writing, those kinds of things that involve your brain that you can do in a group. Okay, that's something you should be focusing on right now in order to move in the proper direction. A tool that you are going to need, or I have a couple of tools that you're going to need on your journey. It's dangerous. Don't go alone. Take this. Okay. The Prince of Autumn, dependable, protective, chivalrous, and humorous. Cautious but wise action, meticulous attention to detail, and kindness to others. These are tools. Put them in your tool belt. Okay? You must operate from a place of humor. Don't take things too seriously. Don't take things personally. Be chivalrous. All right? Now, I know that some people think that chivalry should not be a thing because it's misogynistic, but I think that it's just good manners when practiced by all people and not just masculine people. Okay, so chivalry, just having good manners, standing up for others. Just think of a knight. All right, I know this, like, the connotation when you talk about things from the past can get really negative, but I really want to talk about how, like, chivalry can be a positive thing. You have chivalry and you have this knight here and you have the Knight of Swords. So justice, I think, is going to be a very big thing for you. If you've been thinking about going into criminal justice of any kind, I would say yes, do that. If you've been thinking about like becoming a police officer or going into some sort of criminal justice, this is an indication of yes, do that thing, because oh my gosh, you'll be so successful. There is definitely a desire to go into that field, or at least for some of you possibly. But cautious but wise action. All right. Think before you act. Think before you speak. Just think. Do a lot of thinking first. Okay. Meticulous attention to detail. Pay attention to the little things, because the little things matter. It is a bunch of tiny little things put together that make everything, right? Everything is made out of atoms. Every single thing is made out of atoms, and atoms are just a bunch of empty space. But you put that empty space close enough together, and it makes stuff, right? You put enough of it close enough together and it makes stuff. So my point, because I'm going off on tangents here, is you need to pay attention to the details. Okay, pay attention to the little things because they matter. And just be kind, be polite, remember your manners. Okay, even as you're trying to progress, especially as you're trying to forge bonds with this Six of Wands energy. I definitely like just be polite. If you feel like you're not good at making friends, it's okay. Just be nice. Just be nice. Like that's all it takes, honestly, to make friends is just be nice to people. Okay, so there's that. Okay, those are some tools for your tool belt. The other thing I have for you as far as tools for moving forward is a card from my illustrated herbiary by Maya Toll, and this says, Comfrey, what needs healing? Okay, there's a little chrysalis there, and I'm just going to read you from the book the little blurb and activity that Miss Maya Toll has placed in this book for you. Comfrey loves to mend. Skin, bones, soil, there's so much to do. She dives deep, magicking molecules, rebuilding broken chains, restacking cells into tissue and tissue into muscle. This is joyous work for Comfrey, so she tends to work quickly, sometimes too quickly. Her boldness can border on recklessness, and in her mad scientist exuberance, she can get ahead of herself and forget first steps. Comfrey is a reminder to work systematically. Attention to detail. Starting with the deepest layers and working your way out. Even creative endeavors need to be built on a solid foundation. If Comfrey appears, ask what needs mending, and then pause to assess the plan before diving in. Okay, guys, I promise I don't pick these things out beforehand. I promise I'm not cheating here. This Prince of Autumn is telling you exactly the same thing as this Comfrey card. Okay, first and foremost, pay attention to detail, but think before you act. A bunch of little things can come together and accumulate to make something big. All right. And with that Knight of Swords energy, you are probably going to be motivated to move very quickly. Still, though, take your time. Think before you act. All right. I'm going to give you a ritual, and then we're going to give you the last two cards. Ritual, breaking apart. The flip side of mending is breaking. We are trained to appear strong and often feel guilt or shame when we break. But unmaking is as much a part of the cycle as making. And breaking can be incredibly liberating. If you've swung a sledgehammer during a home renovation project, you know this is true. 1. Find something you can safely smash, hurl, stomp on, or pummel. Do it. Allow yourself to scream, or at least grunt loudly, make loud noises. Nothing like that in your house. Oh, nothing to beat up in your house. Beat up your bed with a pillow. What you're going for in the moment when your mind stops chattering. And you simply, what you're going for is the moment when your mind stops chattering and you simply release. Okay. And I have done this. There was a time in my life where I had a whole lot of rage. And so one thing that I did to combat that rage was to take some things outside and just destroy them, just smash them to pieces. Did it to a few objects. It took a few tries, but eventually I got it. Okay, last two cards I have for you are from my Sacred Geometry Activations Oracle deck, and these are the best way to move forward, things that'll help you move, things that'll help you get into motion and gain momentum. Okay, first thing is belief. The frequency of belief supports our sense of self-worth based on our gifts and talents and a strong connection to source. Nurture those gifts and talents. They are in there. Use them. Fertility. The frequency of fertility invites us to be more open, more courageous, more creative, and more joyful than we were before. It activates the potential for something beautiful to grow from our consciousness into a new and grander expression of ourselves. My friends, you're going to grow. You're going to be able to become this person that you want to be. It's going to happen. Find friends who support you. Find a group of people who are interested in the same thing that you are, and be willing to take a leap of faith, essentially. Be willing to step out of this defensive space, right? Be willing to step out of this space of wanting to protect yourself, because you're going to be great. People are going to see you, and they're going to realize how amazing you are, and they're going to be gung-ho, going along, following you, being your friends. Things are going to be great, okay? Things are going to be great. You need to give yourself a chance to show your potential. All right. You can do this. I believe in you. All right. And I want to hear about it. I want to hear if this was helpful for you. And I want to hear what you plan to do or what your talent is that you're going to nurture. Okay. I want to hear about it in the comments down below. And that's your whole reading. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you so much for listening to me talk. And I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.